Hello, my astrology friends and family. This is Lada from AstroladaOfficial, here with your monthly update from Sidereal astrologer Krasi Atasio, who will lead us through the month of June with focus on Saturn retrograde, because that's the biggest event she told us next month, according to Western, according to Sidereal astrology as well. And also Krasi is offering a specific reading for everyone that is focused on the next half of the year. It's down from $200 to $130 only. That focuses especially on the next 6 months, especially on Saturn retrograde. I'll put a link below if you're interested on such a big discount personal reading live with Krasi. Hello, Krasi.
Hello, Ada. Hello, everyone. Yes, we have 3 very important events in June, but Saturn retrograde seems to be the most important. On 16th of June, Saturn becomes retrograde. First, he will be stationary for 2-3 days, and he will be retrograde for a very long time, until 6th of November. Now, classically, what to expect from the retrograde motion of Saturn? First of all, we know that sidereally, according to the sidereal astrology, Saturn entered Aquarius, where he has a rulership. This was end of January. And he will be there for 2.5 years. Saturn will be for 2.5 years in Aquarius. And this is why we experience all these major changes happening on Earth, happening on the financial system. And everything is very rapid, very dynamic due to Saturn in Aquarius and other factors too. But one of the main factors is Saturn. So Saturn turns retrograde. How this will influence us? First of all, if everyone is afraid from Saturn, maybe this shouldn't be so, especially if we understand the nature of Saturn. Saturn actually, even considered malefic planet, is quite predictable because we can kind of describe what Saturn will bring us. We actually, even when he entered Capricorn in 2020, January 2020, we approximately knew what kinds of changes he will bring to Earth. Right? We knew. So what is he doing when retrograde? So classically, traditionally, for every astrology, he's malefic planet. Malefic meaning hard, and he has very high hierarchy. Saturn is, the 7th planet. Who higher you go in the celestial spheres hierarchy, who higher the power, the hierarchy, the importance of the planet. So Saturn is very important since very ancient times, since Babylonian times. He's Ninurta, he's the Lord of Karma, he rules agriculture, he's the great warrior, he rules the irrigation systems. I'm talking very ancient times. Now as Cronus, he rules time. As Saturn, he rules also discipline, he rules the karma. So he's so important. He rules the karma, and the greatest lessons and wisdom on this planet we learn through Saturn. So he's malefic. We get the lessons in the hard way usually, but being so malefic, when he turns retrograde, he's expected not to be that malefic, actually. He's expected to be a little bit more benevolent. He's not benevolent, but to be a little bit more easy to, for us to experience his energies. So also, some texts say Saturn retrograde, it gives better financial results. So this is another thing. Well, we will see that, but yes, he's less malefic. So this is the good news. In the meantime, when he turns retrograde, he will be creating harmonious aspect with Jupiter, who will be in Aries for a very long time, approximately 1 year, until April of next year. So Jupiter, powerful in Aries, with Rahu and then Saturn, create harmonious aspect. In addition, one very important detail too for June. Actually, now this last week of May, we will experience the exact conjunction between Rahu and Jupiter. This is very interesting, very spiritual conjunction, powerful in terms of our spiritual searchings, very powerful. We spoke about this to you last time with Wada. Very powerful when you want to pray, to achieve your spiritual insights, just to pray for your well-being. Jupiter and Rahu, when they meet, they form something. They form Indian yoga, actually, which is considered to be very powerful and actually to bring success, but could be also could go the other way. Can make people very arrogant, can make people lose the focus. So we need to remain very spiritual, very focused. The third important event is exactly in the beginning of the month. Venus will already be in Cancer, and she will be there with Mars. This is not very powerful position of Venus. She, as an evening star, you can see her beautifully shining on the western horizon, beautifully, very, very shiny. But she will be meeting Mars, and in Cancer, well, what to tell you, such position of Venus is not promising major financial results, but she promises extreme emotions, emotions in the private romantic lives of people. So this is not the most potent in terms of achievements, placement of Venus, and she will be there also in June. So basically, these are the main, events for the month of June. But the most important to me, of course, remains Saturn in his retrograde motion, which I believe to some people may bring good results. Of course, it depends how Saturn is placed in your horoscope, whether you're born in the day, in which house is Saturn, aspects which Saturn makes, receives. So there are too many factors, how dignified is Saturn, and so on, in order to see exactly what to expect from Saturn retrograde in Aquarius. We cannot have also very high expectations because this is still malefic planet, but people with very good Saturn actually can benefit, I believe, from that. And since quite some time, I've been paying attention, Wada, on horoscopes with retrograde Saturn. It doesn't seem to be bad. And of course, you need other additional factors, but Saturn retrograde is not such a bad thing. I actually saw horoscopes with quite interesting financial achievements, people, with the retrograde Saturn. So this is certainly not a bad motion of Saturn.
The people were even asking in the chat, what if you're already born with Saturn retrograde? When Saturn goes retrograde, have you seen something like?
Yeah, it's
not I'm more dedicated during that time. With Saturn retrograde, I tend to. It doesn't mean I don't work hard the rest of the time, but it's.
Yes, but other factors are important too. You have to look whether they're born in the day, at night, which house. Imagine Saturn in the 12th house will be very different from Saturn in the 11th. Then the retrograde motion will have all these accents, but it's like a repetition of what they already know. They are familiar with this energy, I believe. And yes, what is the classical also view on that is this return, like we will be revisiting something. We may be revisiting our morals, our belief system, knowledge, ancient roots, if you want. It is about the revisiting too. Depends where Saturn for you is. Let's say you have Saturn in the 9th house, very well placed in Capricorn. This will be total revisiting of your belief system, knowledge, communication tools, skills, all this, it can be, yes, retrograde is always revisiting as well, of course. But this we all know. So yeah, it will be interesting. Well, let's see what this will bring. We can start with the 12 ascendants. We are looking as usual sidereal perspective, but also modern tropical astrology perspective. So if you have sidereal Aries ascendant or moon in Aries, this will be modern tropical Taurus. For you, Saturn is becoming retrograde on your 11th house, aspecting Jupiter on your ascendant. Totally not bad, actually. Very interesting. Well, this may make you revisit, apologies. This may make you revisit friendships, the ways of means of making finances, communication with your children, relationship with children. This is also very possible. In addition, we have other important factors. You know, you have Rahu, a Jupiter conjunction on your ascendant. This can make you be very driven, change your goals, aims, expectations from life. And also Venus will be in June with Mars on your 4th house. This may bring too much of emotions. You need to keep your emotions in harmony, in balance when it comes to career, home, communication, in your career place with superiors, with parents, also, you know, with in your romantic life with partnerships. This can bring a little bit too much of emotions. But for the rest, you have Jupiter on your ascendant. I think this is already quite lucky for you. Then we have people who have sidereal ascendant Taurus or moon in Taurus, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, this will be Gemini. For you, Saturn retrograding on your 10th house with Jupiter on the 12th is very interesting situation. This somehow can be, you know, can be related to career, revisiting plans, schedules, career plans in general, or career everything. Can also be, can also show that during especially the first days, let's say 16th to the 19th to the 20th of June, be a little bit more careful, communication with superior, because then is the stationary motion of Saturn. So you may need to be a little bit careful, but in general, you know, it's 6th house Jupiter, so this can be helpful to bring to for in terms of health. This can help you to reach agreement and consensus with hidden enemies, let's say. And then Venus on your 3rd house with Mars. Watch out a little bit how you communicate with brothers and sisters, how you teach, education process, make sure that you're very balanced there. Also, in terms of communication, trade in general, travel, make sure that you're very balanced, very careful. And now we're looking at people who have sidereal ascendant Gemini or moon in Gemini, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, this will be Cancer. Now for you, for the month of June, actually, first to start with Saturn, of course, he will be retrograding on your 9th house. This is interesting. This may, exactly like we said in the beginning, may cause you revisiting of knowledge, belief system, spiritual belief system, studies, communication means a lot, you know, about about that. In addition, this can make you desire to visit old places, let's say. So this can be interesting, can bring you to restart education, which, let's say, you postponed, or revisit old knowledge, old school or education. This could be very good. Also, you know, Jupiter with Rahu on your 11th house is very benevolent, can help you bring peace with children, with friends, can be financially also benevolent for you, can be financially benevolent when it comes to communication with people abroad, let's say. And then Venus for you with Mars come on your 2nd house. This is not bad, but make sure that you make careful and balanced financial decisions. Now, this is important. And now we're looking at people who have sidereal ascendant Cancer or moon in Cancer, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, this will be Leo. Now for you, Mars remains until end of the month on your ascendant. Venus is joining in the beginning of June. And then during the whole month of June, you will be having Venus, Mars in Cancer, right, on your ascendant. This is not bad, but can be extreme in terms of emotions, feelings, can be a little bit challenging for your romantic life unless you establish very careful, harmonious, balanced way of everything, communication, feelings. And then for you, Saturn is in your 8th house, and there he will be retrograding. This could bring interesting results when it comes to finances of your partner, finances of that you get via unexpected sources. Anyhow, you know, you may need to be, this can make you revisit old agreements or financial ways of making money, like revisit. Then Jupiter with Rahu on your 10th house can be very benevolent when it comes to anything in your career place, a project, something new, something positive. But again, because of Mars and Venus, make sure that any decision, be it financial, be it communication, career, with partner, you have to be a little bit more careful, harmonious, balanced, diplomatic, intuitive. And now we're looking at people who have sidereal ascendant Leo, or Moon in Leo, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, this would be Virgo. Now for you, quite intense. Saturn is on your 7th house, where you have your marriage, relationships, agreements, and he becomes retrograde. This is not bad, it's interesting, can make you rethink, revisit your relationship, can make you revisit agreements, partnerships, in a good way also, actually. Can be very interesting when it comes to, because when he's retrograde, he is also slowing down. This can have very positive impact on your relationship, can bring peace if you need, and harmony even. Can be good for agreements, or agreements that you didn't manage to sign or fix. This can be opportunity for you to revisit, like a second chance. And then you have Jupiter and Rahu, and also Mercury actually on your 9th house. Very good for travel, for communication. Really can make you very driven to travel, to do commerce, to study, to this can also bring you good financial results. And then Venus and Mars are meeting on your 12th house. Well, be a little bit cautious for your health, and well, for invisible enemies. Make sure that you're very diplomatic, careful, and responsible for your health. And now we're looking at people who have sidereal ascendant Virgo, or Moon in Virgo, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, this is Libra. Now for you, Venus and Mars are meeting on your 11th house. Watch out a little bit. Make sure you make very diplomatic, careful, balanced, intuitive financial decisions. Also, this is the way you should be, careful how you communicate with children. Also with people which share your social circle, there also make sure that you're quite diplomatic, intuitive, careful. Saturn for you is turning retrograde on your 6th house. This can make you revisit health, the topic of health in general, which is your own health, which is health as healing others, which is to rearrange your routine, to rearrange your business, to rearrange your accountancy, bookkeeping. Saturn can be very helpful in this sense, can make you revisit and rearrange your business, your routine, and can be very helpful in this sense. Then you have Jupiter and Rahu on your 8th house. this is fine. This is fine for the finances of your partner, can be good for information that you may gather from spiritual sources, like secrets, researching. This can be very helpful and can be positive for the finances of your partner, indeed. And now we're looking at people who have Sidereal ascendant Libra or moon in Libra, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, this is Scorpio. Now for you, good for you, Jupiter Rahu meeting on your 7th house. Jupiter is very benevolent for you, of course, on your 7th house for your relationship, romantic life. Make sure, of course, that Jupiter and Rahu for you work in a very balanced way, because this is up to you. Because this can be very strong energy, which sometimes can act confusing or misleading or illusionary. So you may need to be very balanced, very careful. But if you manage to be in control of this energy, this can be very benevolent to bring peace at home, to help you achieve certain agreements, contracts. Then you have Saturn on your 5th house turning retrograde. This can make you revisit old talented work, old studies which you made before, can make you restart something that you, let's say, didn't complete in terms of education, knowledge, talents. And then Mars and Venus will be meeting and staying until end of June on your 10th house. This would say that you may need to be a little bit more careful at your career place with superiors in general, because this can bring disharmony, too much of emotions. So you may need to be a little bit more careful, very diplomatic. When it comes to making new financial decisions on new projects, you may need to really be double check, triple check everything and make sure that you're very, very careful. And now we're looking at people who have Sidereal ascendant Scorpio or moon in Scorpio, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, this would be Sagittarius. Now for you, Saturn is turning retrograde right over your 4th house. This is your home, but this could be property. This, of course, depends exactly how Saturn is placed in your horoscope. Can be benevolent when it comes to property, like in terms of sales, real estate, in terms of your own home, in terms of revisiting relationships with parents, let's say, or some old deal related to property and real estate, revisiting, doing it this time. Also, this can have impact on your career place, so you may need to be a little bit more diplomatic and careful. In addition, Jupiter and Rahu are meeting on your 6th house, fine for your health, can make you very driven to the routine, to arrange things, to arrange your work. This can bring actually a peace and harmony and reestablish peace when it comes to communication with people which share your routine environment. And then Venus and Mars are meeting on your 9th house during the month of June. Well, this is not a bad conjunction, but it's a bit too much, So when you travel, when you trade, when you communicate, you may need to be a little bit more careful, more balanced, more in harmony. Decisions which you make also be a little bit more double check, triple check, be more in harmony. Now we're looking at people who have Sidereal ascendant Sagittarius or moon in Sagittarius, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, this is Capricorn. Now for you, Saturn is retrograding on your 3rd house. This is fine, can make you revisit relationship with brothers and sisters, can make you revisit education, knowledge, studies, even travel destinations which you wanted to visit before. So this could be actually fine. Jupiter is on your 5th house. They create sextile. This can be interesting in terms of finances, communication with people, with your children, revisiting talents, and can bring some lucky incomes as well. And then Venus and Mars are meeting on your 8th house. This can you can control this because I see this as possibly bringing a bit of disharmony when it comes to finances of your partner. So you may need to be very careful, he or she too, when making financial decisions. Also, this would say that you may need to be very careful and especially balanced when it comes to knowledge, hidden knowledge, which you're searching, because this can be a little bit scary, disturbing, but unless you're very, very spiritual, balanced, in harmony with yourself, this can actually bring you be a very good drive for finding the truth, researching occultistic, esoteric, spiritual information. Then we're looking at people who have Sidereal ascendant Capricorn or moon in Capricorn, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, this would be Aquarius. Now for you, Saturn is very important. He's your ascendant ruler. He is your ruler. And he becomes retrograde on your second house. This can be interesting for financial matters, can make you revisit all means of making money, can make you revisit communication with family roots, family members. Jupiter is benevolent on your fourth house. This can be positive for your home, for communication with parents, for deals with property, real estate. Then Mars and Venus are meeting on your seventh house, which would say that you may need to be a little bit more careful, diplomatic, intuitive, balanced with your partner and with partnerships in general. Saturn retrograde being your ascendant ruler can make you revisit in general your belief system, what you want from this world, your goals, your aims. So he can make you really rethink, revisit. And then we're looking at people who have Sidereal ascendant Aquarius or moon in Aquarius, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, this would be Pisces. Saturn is right on your ascendant. He becomes retrograde in the 13 degrees of Aquarius, in the vicinity, quite near the star Fomalhaut, very spiritual, very good, very important place. Exactly, to make you revisit your plans, your spiritual belief system, your even religious, your plans, your goals, your aims, what you want from yourself, from this reality, everything. Can also be to revisit your relationship, what you want from your relationship, from your personal life. Can be very interesting. And then Jupiter and Rahu on your third house can make you very driven to knowledge, to travel, to communicate and bring peace in, let's say, relationship with brothers and sisters. So this can be very benevolent. And then Mars and Venus on your sixth house means this is during the whole month of June. Watch out a little bit because this is a bit too much of emotions. Watch out how you communicate with people which share your routine environment. Be more responsible for your health in general. And now we're looking at people who have a Sidereal ascendant Pisces or moon in Pisces, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, this would be Aries. Now for you, Jupiter, your ascendant ruler, is meeting Rahu and Mercury on your second house. This is about finances. This is not bad for your finances. Can make you even very driven to making money via new, let's say, more original ways. Can make you desire to fix relationship with family roots, let's say. So this is a quite powerful position of Jupiter, who rules your ascendant. So this is totally not bad. And then you have Saturn on your 12th house retrograding. He can make you like revisit your ancient roots, like be more on your own, visit the temple, revisit means of healing and health, revisit communication, relationship with hidden enemies, let's say. So Saturn can be very interesting, very analytical. He can have a very analytical role for you there on your 12th house. Health will become very important, the topic of health in general and healing. This is knowledge that you may decide now to acquire or revisit. and also your own health. It becomes very important. Then you have Mars and Venus on your 5th house. Well, this is interesting drive towards, creative activities, talented work, communication with children. Just make sure that you're very careful, attentive, diplomatic, balanced when you communicate with children. And financially, this is fine. This can make you very driven to, to generate gains via interesting sources, but also can be very good for artistic work. So more or less, briefly, this is about the 12 ascendants, and this will be a very interesting month of June. Wada?
Thank you, Krasi, again for covering them succinctly to the point. And again, if anyone wants a reading with Krasi, there is from $200, Krasi is offering a reading for the next 2-3 weeks down to $130, $130 for the next 6 months. Focus on Saturn retrograde, how it will affect you personally and other influences. So thank you so much, Krasi.
Thank you, Wada. Thank you, everyone.
I hope everyone enjoys June with the Jupiter North conjunction, and let's see Saturn retrograde as well.
Yeah.
Have a great month ahead, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Krasi, for your time.
Thank you, Wada.